Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor. Today is our critique day. Again, I just randomly picked, we put all the names into a hat, and I had one of our employees randomly pick a name out of that hat. We had way more people put in their names for a critique this time than last time, almost 3 times as many. So obviously there has been some interest in it, but the winner for today is Steve Apple, one of our subscribers. His store or his eBay username is Applebin Vintage Collectibles 2014. I didn't look into how long he was selling. That's not really an issue for me. We're just going to look at the items. And again, this is not personal. This is a business decision, business talk from this point on. So anything associated with what I'm going to say is strictly related to business and trying to make more money. That's all I care about. I don't care about any other aspect of this. If you're not making money or not making enough, I'm going to hopefully give you some ideas and some things to do and change that will earn you some more money, hopefully. I've looked over your site several times, looked over some of the feedbacks and things along that line too, and we'll just get right into it and look at a few items here. I picked out some like I did last time. I picked out some actual specific listings, and we will go from there. I'll talk about the listings first, and then I'll give you an overall assessment on what I think needs to happen. The first one here, now this one here, the title's good, but what you're missing is a key part of this. If somebody's looking for 35mm slides, nowhere in your title or the category you have says 35mm slides. So on here, I would remove like the clothing and maybe even the 1960s and just put 35mm slide, terminal, something along that line. Put the location. This is obviously a bus terminal, I would say. I would center in more on the buses themselves. More than anything else, truthfully. The picture's good image. I would have added, though, a couple extra photos. If this is one that was lost because of it, I would go ahead and fix and add another photo or two. Or you could help yourself out without actually taking another photo and download a copy of this, then re-upload the same one. But I would always on a slide, if again, it may have been lost, as I know they had the glitches, I would have a picture of the actual entire slide as well, not just the image. It's perfect what you have for the main image. That's just fine. But again, you do need more than one image. So if it was lost, I would fix it and put another one in here too. And even like on your condition here, trying to find out what this is. I know you have slide down in here. There are more than just one type of slide. So you have to put 35mm in here. That's what I would put. Have maybe candid or something along that line in the title as well too. Overall though, decent item. Price looks fine. Make an offer. I always charge shipping. Again, that's your preference. You may have it figured into your fee there too as well. That's fine too. I would break this down into, like here you've just copied it and the text is wrong. Uniformity is what I look for in everything. Everything should be uniformed. I would put full sentences down here, you know, with caps and the whole works. We try to be as accurate as possible. I would put this into like a statement and then type up something, you know, like 2 or 3 sentences. Nothing more, just a couple sentences. All the other information you have here is okay, but I would literally put it into a more formal where it stretches across the whole gambit here. It looks like you may have geared it towards the cell phone use specifically. I would put this a little more detailed in the description too here. You know, just put literally that I have other slides up. Put it a little more. Please check out my other auctions. There are actually options you can add without having to put these statements in. You can add in, please check out my other auctions, please check out my store. That's an actual feature that eBay has built in there too. But again, I would do one set statement across the back saying, you know, whatever you want to say about yourself. I list stuff so often, you know, I've been in business, we try to do everything correctly. Look at some of the higher priced items that you see in other people's other sellers accounts and kind of use what they have in the bottom. But again, uniformity. In several of your listings, I don't see that uniform. Do not know the age of this item. I would break this down into complete sentences. I would get rid of, right here and copying the title straight down. I would just have a flat generic, up for sale is a vintage card, and then have some more information about you. Please take a look at the pictures for condition above. Email with questions. I would literally put this out in full sentences. Make it look a little more professional. Again, you can use the same one for every single thing and just change. Up for item is an antique card. Up for item is a 35mm slide. You don't have to repeat the title down in there. That's just unnecessary thing to do. Other than that, things look fairly good. Photo type, I would literally, again, you got to put 35mm slide. Anybody looking for slides, 35mm slides may not have a clue that that's what this is. You don't have that in here. If you're not getting questions, that might be part of it too. You literally need to put 35mm slide in the title. Nowhere in here does anybody know what this one is, so we'll move on from that one here. Let's see here. Again, as I said, uniformity. I would type up a better overall description. Get yourself a paragraph of information that's the same in every listing. And again, all you need to do on each one is just change the what the item is. Like up for sale is a vintage slide, up for sale is a vintage trade card, whatever the case may be. Antique store liquidation was stored in plastic sleeve. There's a light pink background stain. Condition-wise, it's fine. I don't really worry about where it comes from. That's your call if you want to do that. I would never list liquidation in there, truthfully, in my opinion. It makes it sound like it's a bad product in a way. Written in pencil, that's good. Please look at the pictures and email with questions. That's fine on that too. But again, I would put a bigger description down here, a bigger notice down here in the bottom. Just like a paragraph, a uniform, and every single one should be the same. So if you're changing, you're going to sell something else, like even if you're selling a shirt next time, hit sell similar item every time, and you have the same thing. Or set it up as a template so every listing you have looks identical. Every one. Your title's fine. I would, though, you need to get rid of this, space this out here. These being touching like that is not going to let anybody see what it is. And I would put advertising card and not cards. You only have the one card. White background, again, I would zoom in on this one here, crop the card, like run it like right along here, run it down here, and then crop it just so this is all you see. Priceless is a key one. Priceless usually do sell. And I might more zoom in on some of the items in here. I would probably put puzzle card, military, Romeo and Juliet, no, Greenway. I put Kate Greenway. I put Greenaway in the title. So Greenaway, puzzle card, military, and I would probably just shorten this down to NY. Don't worry about the street. Wimple is a known card, so anybody buying this is probably going to know. You can put 1880s in the title to get rid of antique and put 1880s. 1880s Wimple, price list card, New York, NY, and then Greenaway, military, and puzzles. And that's what my title would be in this one here. Decent card, as I said, though. Puzzles, prices, those usually sell, so that would be what I would put key in here. Next item here. This is actually, let's see here, apparatus and materials. This is a catalog. So what you're missing out of this one, get rid of the word booklet and put catalog, and I think you would sell this a lot quicker. I always put the date up in the front, so I would put 1932. Don't worry about the 1931, 32. 1932 up here in the front. Eastman Professional Photographic Apparatus Catalog. Camera, something along that line. But that's what I would put. Catalog will sell an item better than booklet. Cover and all pages are intact. I would just put complete. Intact sounds like there's, it's getting by. Complete sounds better. I've tested these out. I personally use complete for everything. Intact would not be something that I would personally use. Please look at the pictures and email with questions. Put with questions, full sentences. I always put the amount. This stuff up here, the book has, or the catalog per se in this one. The catalog has 77 pages and measures. Put the quote sign after here so it's inches there as well too. You don't have to put inches, you can put it in there too, but I always put the marking, either 1 dash for feet or 2 dashes for inches. But I would put that up in the condition line as well. When you do it this way, if someone's looking for their phone, they will have to zoom in or actually click on and highlight in to look at all this information. So if you put it up here in the condition, the seller's notes, the item specific, condition wise, let me slide back up, sorry here. But if you put it up here, they can see it instantly from their phone without zooming in or doing anything special. That's what I would do. And on this first photo here, again, crop in on the actual item itself. Do a crop up the top, crop down here, and crop along the side here. And don't show any of your background blue. And again, I would always use white in everything, white. If you get big at some point in the future here and want to cross-list a lot of these items, you won't be able to do it because you don't have a white background. This would be something that you could actually put up on Amazon and still have a real good chance on selling this. So if you're cross-listing this on other sites or even Etsy or anywhere else you could cross-list this, you can't do it. So just keep that in mind. And you may come to a point where you're selling a ton of stuff and, hey, I want to start cross-listing on Amazon, but you can't do it with these photos. So try and keep all your photos with a white background, unless you have no physical possible choice because the photo won't come out. But again, white background and everything. Uniform description on the bottom. I would work on the description. I'd put more in there. Make it sound like you're giving some more information, like a paragraph. Just one paragraph. That's it. 4 sentences, 5 sentences at the most in that paragraph. Uniformity. Your titles are good. I like the title-wise. Don't worry about two-sided. They're all two-sided. This is 1880s, 1890s. Let's see here. And I would have probably, well, this one's a toughie one. The front's pretty decent. You could put beach scene, giant shell, scallop or something along that line in here. If you're going to show the back, zoom in again and just show a centering of the image, the lion coffee. Now, there's a ton of lion coffee cards, and the backs are almost all the same. So I would honestly, personally, do a zoom in on this. Chop it down where you can see part of the Wilson Spice, and go up across the top. Now, we live in the area where this card was made, and this one isn't one that that shows up very often. So I might zoom in on the lovely beach scene, women, boats, beach, sand, giant shell, Wilson, and say it that way. Lion Coffee is what you'd want in the title too. Coffee cards sell better than just spice. So Wilson is great, but I would put like 1880s, 1890s, Lion Coffee, Wilson Spice Co., Toledo, trade card, fab, shells, beach scene, something along that line would be what my title would be. For us, I've run tests, and it's just the same pretty much, listing free shipping or not. If you've raised the price, that's fine. I would have put $17.50, so at $19.99 with free shipping, that's fine, I would say. I picked out items that I mess with here. On this one here, I would actually, well, let's zoom in here. I would actually put engraved, this is the description. This is Whitesboro Machine and Iron Works. This is a Train Company manufacturer. I honestly wouldn't worry about the Babbitt soap. I would zoom in, do a crop, cut right down here, cut across, and then come up and just do a white image on here. I would put 1880s, as I said, 1880s Whitesboro Machine and Iron Works train maker, engraved trade card. And then just put Babette's, just the word Babette soap, and that's it. The image that you want to center in is on the train here. I would also, if you do that, I would put it up to $57.50 or higher, maybe even $75 on this one here. But zoom in, just showing the train. No blue background, nothing. Just as I said, just one more time here, cut across here, cut up, and then cut across. Get rid of all the white and just show this as an enlargement as your main photo, the engraved train image. I would be shocked if you don't sell this one for at least 30 or 40 bucks. That's a decent card. You've centered in on the wrong subject on this card. This is not what you want. Change it right away and raise the price to $57.50 or 75 bucks minimum is what I would do. And again, get rid of the liquidation. Don't put recovered. It sounds like you're recovering damaged, just junked out liquidation items. Put nice vintage card. You don't need to put where you found it at. That just, in my opinion, downgrades the card as well. You got good feedback. You got everything else going for you. Zoom in on the train, and you will sell this one way quicker. The train part's what's going to sell that one, though. So anyway, let's move on. Up on here again, zoom in, white background here. Zoom in, crop it down to just this image right here. That's what's going to sell it. This image of Hitler, Tito, and Mussolini. That's what's going to sell this right off the bat. World War II section, move this to World War II section, home front items, personal items, somewhere in that range. But World War II section, zoom in on this white background. I wouldn't change the background now. I would just download a copy of this and then re-up it again. If you lost photos, I would always have 2 or 3 photos. So you can download the same one, up it again, and then put it so the main image is, again, as I said, just this here, just this section here. And that's what's going to sell this one here. You could up the same image, a couple of them, just to try and beat the system here. Multiple images are going to help this to sell. Again, free shipping. I might put, say, I don't know, $24.50 on it, and then, you know, best offer as well, and list it again in the World War II section. That's going to sell it much quicker than what you have here. Let's see here. Just put complete. I don't worry about intact. It's a very nice condition, it looks like, honestly. I mean, again, zoom in here. Zoom in on the cover. Come down through here. Soviet soldier. Put the date in here and then go up the top. Only the cover, no background. Zoom in just on a photo that's key for this issue here. 1945 I would put in the front. I don't put the months usually on stuff like this. I want them to come into the listing and look at it. Soviet soldier. Yeah, that's good. Other than that, ads, I would put ads, loaded, something along the line. You don't have to put the whole word advertising. Put ads and then loaded, so they know that there's a ton of vintage ads. Yeah, other than that, that's good. Straight down shoot's the best too. Again, you don't need the title back down here. Up for auction is a vintage magazine. Conditions up top, so you don't have to worry about that. Shipping poly sleeve with cardboard backer. I list them. I put mail all these in big thick cardboard. That's how I mail all magazines. I've got some videos on that. Again, it's your preference, but just a thin piece of cardboard, one piece of cardboard is usually not going to save a magazine if that's the case. I cut down boxes. I've got a video on that. For this one here, you could use one of the Walmart's 14Q boxes, and you could just use one panel of it, and then put one stiffener board, and that's how I would mail it personally. Other than that, I would show more of the military style advertisements here. February 20 back issue. Again, I would not put the actual month. I would kind of limit that information, force people to look at it, because if they're not looking for that specific month, they're not even going to zoom in on your listing or click in on it. If they're just looking for cool covers or something and not a specific month, they're going to have to be forced to look in on yours to see what month it is. So I limit some information on items like that. Let's see here. Next one, white background. I know it looks pretty white, but I would really try to get it white background. If you don't have professional lighting, I would look into getting some better lighting. If you're using a phone, get by with what you got, but I would brighten this up a little bit here. And chop out all the extra stuff. Literally just show a zoom in on the item. Chop it down about the bottom. Literally nothing else in the image. A bright white background is what you want, so it looks like it's floating. Let's see here. So, solid condition. Certain scratches only, rust in a small spot. That's not too bad in description or your condition. Again, get some more information down here. Put the size up top. Please refer to again, I'd put some, returns accepted. Do some information down here. That's what you want, a paragraph, as I said. I'm not going to go back into that again. eBay, again, has a way to list all this in here where you can put a bunch of information here. That's fine, though. You probably did use the eBay one. I haven't seen what the new option looks like, so that's fine, too. Let me just look at your shipping and payments, too, while we're here, because I have not done that. Every date is not guaranteed. You have checked out using... let's see. Purchase price and shipping cost, or to keep the item. That's fine. eBay actually has the specific. If you're going to do it that way, you've got it right here. Return policy 60 days. I don't I only do the minimum, the required 30 days. I personally wouldn't do a 60-day unless you're required. Just to FYI, I would just set up a policy if you haven't. Seller pays for return shipping. Let's see here. That's fine the way you got it, I guess. But again, I would literally limit it to what eBay's thing is here. You've already got it that way. Free shipping, guaranteed by... I don't do any guaranteed. That's your call again. I haven't noticed any difference on the guaranteed, so I don't do that either. But let's close that one off. Price looks fine on this one too. I didn't look at price here. It looks pretty cheap actually, though, if you're giving free shipping away. If I did $19.99, I would still charge shipping even at that price, depending on what they sell for comp-wise. I don't have a problem with putting more than someone else does, so I might be the highest price on some items like this, but I don't worry about that. Let's move on to the next one. On this one here, again, I would zoom in on the Doughboy here itself. Zoom in on that part of it. Get rid of the blue background. It's distracting in my book. Here you got good. You've zoomed in on the items here. But for the inside description, you want to show the whole page to your best of your ability. The map-wise is decent. But I would, again, zoom in on this item here. Price-wise, it's a little high, I would say. Probably about 17 bucks. I would say you get about 10, 12 bucks for this. And even looking at some of the other ones here, you would stand out if you zoomed in and got a little better, clear picture here for the main image, because no one else seems to have that as the main image. Let's see where you have it. U.S. booklets. I might change it off of books and put personal gear, because this would have been something handed out to a soldier as a personal gear. Autographs are fine. I would maybe not put autographs if it's just his information. I would put ID'd, soldier name, something along that line. Put that it's a soldier's personal name on it. That's what I would put. Let's move on to the next one here. Again, you got to put 35mm slide in here. The picture, it's a decent one here. This one here, you might do better if you zoom in on just the actual image here. Get rid of the black as well. And again, get a couple images up, get a couple copies of this up, zoom in on one and just do another copy of this. You always want to show the actual complete slide as well in the images. If it got lost, I completely understand, but I would probably put another one up somehow. Get a second image there, pull it from a historical file where you won't have to take another image if you had another one up there. But you need 2 or 3 on every single item. Don't ever put less than 2 images. And again, if it got lost, I understand. Let's look at the next one here. Again, face shot of this, or maybe show the barcode here, but solid white background like it's a new item. Dead straight on shot on something like this. That's all you're showing in the image. White background, because you could multi-list this on Amazon as well. This would probably sell quicker on Amazon. Again, I'm not a big fan of the guaranteed delivery. That is your call. If it works great for you, that's fine. Again, I've had issues with it in the past. We had it for like a week, and I had 2 issues right off the bat, so I stopped it. But again, that's up to you. And as I said, the 60-day I wouldn't worry about. Again, I would get some more description down here. Just watch where you put the information. Condition new, obviously that's all you can put up there, so that's fine. Let's see here, Las Vegas. And again, on here, I would probably zoom in. Las Vegas 35mm slide. Yeah, you've got 2 photos up here. I'm not sure which one. Let's see down here. Las Vegas Casino floor slot machines lot. Okay, so it's a lot. Well, you don't have how many's technically in the lot. You're only showing 2. Is there 3? Is there 4? Again, you have to show what the whole slide looks like. Show the information on the slide so they can see the maker of the slide. You're limiting the information on here. It's good that you got the 35mm color slide in the title. That's great. Slot machines. You don't have to really put the word floor. The date's correct. I would put the comma, the little dash mark between the 0 and the S too. That way, when you do a search in Google, it does show up properly. Let's see here. VTG, that's fine. Now that shows up sometimes in eBay listings, so if you put VTG it will show up as vintage, but keep in mind that all the Google searches may not show that that's vintage. Other than that, that's good. It's a decent image, decent slide, price wise is decent. Not sure how long you've had it up, so that might be, wondering on that. But other than that, it's decent. But again, put how many's in there. Show a photo of the entire slide showing the maker. And put how many slides are included in the lot. That would be a big question I would have. Slide count is based on notes found on slides themselves or what seller has told us. I don't usually worry about that. If you're showing the slide, it's going to say what it is. I never put, what somebody has told us either in the slide. It shows that you may not even know that just because a person told you that doesn't mean that that's what it is. So just keep that in mind. I never put because based on information told to me. That's just not something I would word in there that way. But let's go and look at the overall store here. Again, like this one here, it's hard to see the detail on here. I might have zoomed in on this one a little closer and shown the writing, actually, the embossed writing on the wheel itself. Same here, white background here, sealed new old stock. NOS I put in the title. Whenever it's new old stock, NOS in the title. Again, chop this one down here and it'll show a closer view of this item. Good item. I'm not sure price-wise, but it's a good item. You've got trending at $268 or best offer. Yeah, I would check on the price. Just you might have it a little too low. You got 10 watchers. I mean, check and see what they're going. Maybe it's not too low. Maybe you just need to lower it even and it would sell. It depends on how long you had this up. I see the trending price. That doesn't mean that's what it would sell for. I would constantly check this one out with that many watchers. It's a good item. I've had similar items here. 60 or 70 bucks was the last one I sold. But again, it depends on the manufacturer, the series, the model, and the whole works on that as to the value. Like on this one here, zoom in, white background. It's distracting. It's hard to tell instantly. You're not going to stand out against the other folks selling the same item, and I guarantee you there's others selling this exact same item. So to stand out, zoom in just on the pony there. Hotbed, Spark 35 Women's Dark Raspberry. Zoom in closer on this one too. Show the labels or something along that line. From what you're showing, it's hard to tell on anything. Show the label on it. That's what I would do. These are hard to show either way. I've sold some window pieces too, so that's not bad. But I would have chopped off maybe a little bit and brightened up the image. It looks a little dark. Again, it might be you're using a cell phone, which I see a lot of people using these days. I try to always get lighting for it. You can get like 64 bucks off of Amazon for a nice double set of lights with the bulbs and everything, and that's shipped usually. Handmade surfboard, photograph, postcard, collage. Not bad. I'd probably put a date, the vintage you've cut off the last word, so if somebody's searching vintage, that won't show up. I'd probably put like 60s, 70s and leave it in that range. Just personal opinion. I'm not sure on what these go for anymore. I've sold a few years back, but nowadays I don't mess with them much anymore, just because I like smaller items. And on here, again, white background. Zoom in on some of the key buttons. It shows a bunch, but you can't tell what it is from what I'm looking at here. Take them out of the bag, dump them out. Let's see if I can see any vintage ones in here. Your images are good on all of them. It looks like you've got at least 600 DPI. Yeah, you need to show some close-ups on some of these buttons. You've got some celluloid, plastic. These are probably circa 1940s-ish, somewhere in that range, maybe earlier. Looks like you might have some earlier celluloid in here. Yeah, other than that, your price is probably too high for this type of buttons too. I'd probably put like $49.99 and see what happens. Repurpose. Everything else is pretty decent. Mixed lots, collectibles. Yeah, that's probably pretty good other than that. But again, white background. We won't go back down in the bottom description again. Put as much as you can up in this section here, in the conditions section. That's good there. Let's go back here and just look at a few more. You've got top rated plus, so that's always great. 100% feedback, great. Decent items. Again, I can't compare items, and I'm not going to try to criticize what you sell because everybody sells different items. So, again, zoom in on this item here. Clothing-wise, not bad. Let's see here. Again, on something like these two, I might zoom in a little closer and just show the top, like cut it off here, so it shows a bigger image. Lighten it up just a hair to get the background to look as white as possible. Again, zoom in here on this, get rid of the background. White background on this. Not bad price. Shipping wise though, it might cost you $15-20 to ship this, so just make sure you're in the right range for your pricing on that as well too. Lipton, zoom in on this one here. Not a bad item too. Again, I see you got free shipping on all of them. Again, look into it a little closer here. You might not need to do free shipping. This might be something that could sell in the same range and, you know, have them pay for shipping. It just depends. This one here, I might look into these. But again, zoom in closer, white background. Fan light control, decent item. Again, some of these items you could literally sell much quicker on Amazon, I would say. Whisper control I've seen sell on Amazon. These transmitters, these could probably sell on Amazon as well. Geez, it's just kind of hard to say on some of them. Again, zoom in on this. Zoom in on the Coca-Cola part here, white background. Put era, 1960s, 70s on this hue. Let's see what section you've listed this in. This would not go in pocket knives if it is. Yeah, list this in the Coca-Cola collectibles. Let's see if you've got a maker's name on it. If the blade is marked, let's move on farther down and see. USA made. No markings on the blade. Usually the biggest blade in one of these sets is going to be marked somehow, other than the USA. Don't see it. Let's go down here and just check it out again. Again, put some more condition marks in here. Put some more description for what you are. Put some information on you yourself here. Let's go view this from the store level too while we're here. But that's what I would have to say. You need to do the white background. Zoom in on the first image. Don't put the ruler in the first image, which you've got fine. Chop this down, white background, and put it in the Coca-Cola advertising section too. That will help you. Let's see here. Overall, it looks pretty decent. These postmortems do sell. This is a little newer than I would say would sell. Price-wise is good. If you want to move these a little quicker, I'd probably put them all in the same lot and then put like $27.50. I saw you had 2 or 3, maybe even more than that. I did see even. Let's see here. Again, white background. Head-on full frontal view on this item here. You do better on this one. I'm not sure where you have this one here. This might even be something that could go in the religious section. Yeah, you do have it in the right section. Decent item. Fairly interesting. But again, zoom in on something key here, like the Jerusalem or the peace dove or something along that line. Or even like this image here. Images are a little grainy too. Again, it's down to the lighting, I would say. I don't think you're using a full-fledged light setup, I would guess. Only because the background looks like you're using a white sheet and it's not very white. But other than that. Store-wise, though, it looks fine. I'd put a little more about yourself up here. Length of time, things like that. Let's look at your feedback, too, just curiosity's sake. Feedback's always a factor. You have great feedback, so I wouldn't worry about that. It looks like you've been doing this for a while. Put that in there. Put that you're a long-time seller in your description in every listing, and use that same description for your section up here. You can double duty it. You know, use the same description. Put more information there. Let them know more about you. Put a paragraph or 2 up here. Let them read something. Give them something to look at. Or put a nice big image up here, something along that line. You got a lot of categories, a lot of feedback, so altogether that's fairly good. But again, put some more information up there. Great seller. It looks all good, so I mean you got good feedback coming in there. Do the auto feedback too when people buy off you. That's what I always recommend as well. Let's look in here. Let's go through here just a little more. Electronic parts. Let's see where you listed these. Just curiosity's sake. White background too, as I said on all these. Uniform across the back. Testing. These are sold as is. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not bad either. Again, white background though. Let's see what the category is. Other vintage. I would put this in collectibles, the radio, vintage collectible radio parts for repair in the collectible section. It'll probably sell much quicker that way too. The consumer electronics, I don't have much luck selling them for decent price. So just FYI, price-wise should be fine. Let's move on and let's look at a couple more items here. Again, zoom in on the best item in this lot. That's what I would do. Don't show these big group shots like this for your main image. On here, zoom in on the hat a little better. White background, especially with the black hat. You got to have a white background. Gemsco, this is pre, say, 1940s-ish. Maybe 1930s, 1940s would be a date on that item. Zoom in here on the item, of course, again. That should probably sell too. That seems like you got too low of a price. But I could be wrong on that. And again, zoom in on some of the items here. It's hard to see what it is. You want to stand out from all the rest. White background. Get rid of the different coloring on the background. Main image should be a zoom in, just like on here. Zoom in up on the top. House Dictionary of the English Language. I'd look on the price. I don't think these sell very high at all. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's a big seller. Oddball item. I don't know if this is going to be a huge seller either, but this should be in the collectibles, the travel section. If it's not, let's just see here. Because there is a travel souvenir section. Let's see here. No, I would put this in the collectibles in the travel souvenir section. That's what I would personally do. Because that's a souvenir, and it gives you the area you can list it in as well, too. Let's see here. This one's new other. Let's just take a look at this. Let's see here. Overall, again, you've got some decent items. You're going to need to play with a few of the wordings, maybe somewhere along that line. Camera photos. There's a vintage collectibles section too. This looks like it is a vintage one. I would probably list it in that section, the vintage collectible camera parts, if I was you. Other than that, it looks fairly decent. Let's move over to here and let's take another look. You got to show the whole wheel on this. White background as well too. Let's see here. Again, zoom in on these. Just show just the key items on here. Again, white background here. This is something that would probably sell on Amazon really quickly too, honestly. Zoom in here, white background. And then the hat, same thing, white background, zoom in. It's just too dark of an image. It doesn't stand out. Again, here, I would zoom in on a cover or something unique from the image itself. And then you got that plate down here. Same thing with that too. Zoom in on it. White background on this one too. Price-wise isn't bad. Let's see here. I wish this would slide the way we want it. Again, here, you've got a slide rule here. Zoom in. I just sold one of these, so they do sell all the time. You got to show a better picture here. Zoom in on it. You can set the slide on top of the leather case and then do a white background. That'll make it stand out. And then just zoom in on the slide ruler without any other stuff in the background. And same here. Zoom in on this white background. White background. Show an inside picture with something really unique for the main image if you have to. Let's see here. That's again hard to see what you got there. And these pens. You say advertising, but you don't show so much the advertising here. Show them running horizontal and zoom in on the advertisements. White background too, as I said. White background. And show a close-up of the image. Show a close-up of white background here on this too. Is that 925? Is that saying it's sterling, or is that the model number? If it's not sterling, put the number, a number sign or mod sign, model number in that one too. This is a good one here. These usually sell. I usually sell these ones here. I would go ahead and put this in the Western section, though, in collectibles, and zoom in and white background as well, too. Let's just see where you got it. Oh, no, you do have it in the right section. That's a good section to list it in. That's fine there. Let's get rid of that one here. Zoom in on this one, too. It's hard to tell. You've got discrepancies here with the line. You've got a flare off of it from the reflection on the camera. I would work on your lighting here, definitely. Play around with some items here. Cut off all this background and zoom in just on that section a little better. If you cut off the background, crop the photos, take the extra time to crop the photos, put 2 or 3 photos up. Even if you don't show the entire yardstick in there or can't show it, that's fine, but you need to have several. Let's just open one of these up. I do sell yardsticks all the time, so you don't have to worry about it not being a good item. Yeah, you're just a good section here. Just zoom in on that. Chop this down. Chop out some of the extra space and it'll show a bigger enlargement of the item. Let's see, a medical crockery, everything sexual vigor with rectal cream sex. Yeah, that's not a bad item. That's an oddball item. I don't know on sellability on that, but it's different. It has the opportunity to sell. Zoom in on these. Let them see what those are better. Zoom in on the cover here if that's what it is, or show something on the inside that shows a scene like a soldier doing something as your main cover. Again, zoom in on this, or find something cool on the inside that shows something specific. A white background, always, always, always. Let's see here. Zoom in, chop off the extra background space. It'll show this image better, get a little clearer picture. It looks a little blurry, especially the number. If it was moving, I would have stopped it just to show the picture. On things like this too, heads on, like it's sitting on a table and you're at the same level looking straight on it. That's what seems to do better on those. Plain white background too. Just like this one, zoom in on something key, show something cool, cool image. Same thing here, face on, heads on, cool image. Chop out the back, get a white background in there. Same here, this one white background again. Overall though, it looks pretty good. Again, on this one here, I would zoom in and just show the CF white background. Especially these mixed ones. I wouldn't do two different colors of background here. That's just a no-no in my book. Let's see here. Heads up on that one. Heads up on that one. Again, white background. Some of this stuff, these could sell easily on Amazon. You know, this could be something, could be a quick, easy mover on FBA. And, you know, on FBA, you know, they're paying shipping too. So, again, zoom in on this one here. Keyboards I don't think are huge movers, but again, that's your call. I haven't looked it up, so I can't say for sure. I don't usually mess with much keyboards unless there's something really specific. Again, zoom in on this one. Show the babies themselves and nothing else in the background. Get rid of the dark background. You can set this in front of the box if you need to and just show the box as the background. That's decent. Get rid of the dark color in the background. White all around it. Like it's a brand new item on a Walmart site. That's what you're looking for. Straight on shot too. Don't do these oddball angles. I wouldn't. Good item. I see some spoons down there. Zoom in on some of the spoons if there's something special. Craft lot. I'm not sure on what these craft lots would sell for, so you're the best judgment on that. Classical tapes don't sell as a general rule unless they're like German metal tapes or some better tapes, so you might want to just do a little more research on that. I just don't want you running and spending a fee on something that might not sell at all. Again, zoom in on this one here. This one will probably sell, but you need to zoom in. It might be a little low on the price if you're including shipping too, so just keep that in mind. Again, zoom in on that. Zoom in on the Piper Cub. This would be something you might put in an advertising, aviation even. Let's see where you got it at. Collectibles and matchbooks. I might put this in advertising and transportation, honestly. That's what I would list this as. Same price, but just literally do it that way. White background again. I won't say anything else about the white background because that should be a given from this point on, I would hope. Let's see here. Again, zoom in on some of these. I can't tell what you got for sale there, so... again, zoom in on something cool from the inside here. Maybe that shows the U.S. regulations statement or something along that line on this one here. If you don't have this one here, I would put this in the military book section as well. On these two, zoom in on the image here, the main key image here on the metal tray. Let's see here. Just look for a few more moments. Ellen Tracy. I mean, they look like decent glasses, but again, white background. Show a full frontal so you can see the shape of the lenses. That always seems to help us. Zoom in on the item. I just sold one of these, so I know these will sell. If there's a name down here on the base, like a sticker, I would show a close-up of that too. And on some of these too, this is just the thinking here in my part. On stuff like this, people might look at the item and just think, hey, you know, I'd rather get it a $17 item and not even worry about the shipping till the end. So that just might be a consideration. Let's see here. So you zoomed in on this one, and on some of the other hats you didn't do that. So this one's here fine. This is perfectly fine on this one here too. $1.99 shipping you. I don't see how you can ship it like that unless you throw it in a bag and then the hat could get damaged. I ship baseball caps in a box. That's just me. That's your call here. Handcrafted. If there's a maker's name on this one here and by Clay in Mind, San Diego. Okay, so there is one. White background here, though. It kind of blends into the background, the cup. It's hard to kind of tell. So white background will help that one to sell. Move 1930s up to the front, antique in the back. I would put Garfield Heights, Ohio, OH, in the front up here, and then work your way back. You want the most important information on a Google search. What's going to show up is, you know, the first part of this. So they might not even see the Garfield Heights if they're searching from their phone without digging into it more. So 1930s Garfield Heights. It always put the apostrophe up there after the 0. It's just proper, and it's easier to Google search it if that's in there. Radar, I would again put this in a close-up of like a radar installation image on there as the main image, and if this has anything to do with military, I would list this in the military World War II section. That's good. I would have brightened up the outside a little better if you could, but that one's fine. I've had that one too. Let's see here again, the hat, white background, close-up on the Pilates tape. My wife's bought some of those, so I know that they do sell occasionally. Again, chop in here, show a close-up of this. Some of these Avalon ones sell okay. 3M makes them just like this too. I would double check on this one here on price-wise. Other than that, again, zoom in, make this a little clearer, the image. Chop this one down, it'll zoom in. I'm not sure on these Igloo things either how well they actually sell. You might just double check that yourself. Again, straight on shot, you can see a better image of it here. But overall, you got some neat items here. Those should sell too. That should be in the tobacco section. I'm probably going to end it on this one here. It gives you some good ideas, I think. Overall, a good store. For the amount of items you have in there, you got a decent selection. Let's see here. I see this pattern background. I'm not sure if that's part of your camera you're using. And again, they just aren't as quite clear as I would like to see the images. I've got image issues, obviously, on mine, earlier image that we've had up for, you know, a couple year items. But we do work on those. This one you can get away with fine, I would say. I would have just brightened it up a little bit to make the color look true to what it actually is. Your red's a little off. This should be pure white, I would imagine, again. So I always use that as a judgment. I actually have a piece of paper, like a color card that I use, a photographer's card, and I can kind of tell to make sure the colors are correct when I do this. But again, if you're going to stand out over some of these other folks, like this one, definitely, this one you'll stand out over this one, this one. This person's got a darker image. So the brighter, the nicer. You want it to look like a brand new item for sale on like Amazon or a brand new site, you know, like a Walmart or something. But that's pretty good. Let's see here. I would put something, again, a paragraph here. I always sell this type of item or something along the line. We list, you know, unique items constantly. I would literally change that up a little bit here. That would just be me. Let me just slide down. We'll just slide down one more minute here and just take another quick look here. Yeah, like zoom in on some of these key parts of the magazine. Advertising would be where I would list these, or on maybe something like this. You might even sell them better in the camera section. So just keep that in mind. It just kind of depends. Play with it in both areas if you need to. Again, zoom in on this section here and just show that section of it. Here. Good. Again, here, chop in, zoom in on here. Zoom in on the key details on this one too. Get a white background. Even if it's a white object like this, it should still stand out. Let's see here. These are good. A little blurry there. You got a little glare on this one here, but decent items. But that's about it, I guess I could say. Again, chop this one down here too. No criticism on most of this here. Again, you've got a better one here on this one. Again, World War II section. World War II section. Personal gear or something along that line. Zoom in again here. Overall, you got a real good start here. You've been on for a while. You should be able to drum up some more business. Zoom in on the top of the letterhead up here too. Zoom in on it. Show some key information that they can instantly see on there. But that's what I have on the critique today. Again, got some good items here. I haven't looked through the entire your entire thing here, but some good items. I gave you hopefully some good information. Uniformity across the board is what you look for in all these. If you go to Amazon or specific sites, they have these rules set with the background, with the titling, with the wording set for a reason. Uniformity helps. It shows that you you have set routines, set policies, and you can expect to get the same thing from whatever you list. So just keep that in mind. But that's what I have for you today. We will probably try to do a couple more of these as time goes by. So just be on the lookout. If anybody else didn't get reviewed and would like to have their critique, keep that in mind and be on the lookout for my next videos. But again, just keep that in mind when you see the posting. Again, we had a ton this time, so it took us a little longer to write out the names, to put them on pieces of paper, and that's how we picked it, as I said. But again, Don the Auction Professor, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and tell a friend.